Welcome to our Omid Yomi Shir, Dear Shu Omid Yomi. We are in the middle of the Sugi Daf Kuf Omid Beis to do with a boat that is sailing in the sea. And people in the boat, they want to have some water. They want to draw water from the ocean. And we all know, before we even get to start, we have to definitely summarize what we saw yesterday. I'm sharing our online viewers a chart which I sent you guys. And the chart will make it very clear, but you're going to hear me about that also. Basically, when we say that the sea is the Carmelis, what do we mean? Says Rav Huna, yeah? Let's say this is the bottom of the sea. This is the bottom of the sea, and this is the top of the sea. This is the top of the sea. The first 10 tfachim of the sea, that's Carmelis. The top part of the ocean that can go very, very far is not Carmelis anymore. The area above the first 10 tfachim, as we always know, is Malkum Tum. Now you have a boat over here. Here's our boat. The boat, which I, crafted before, the boat, right, clearly, needless to say, that's Mokum Tour. Everything in the sea and the boat up until, it's all one big Mokum Tour. The whole thing is Mokum Tour all the way up. Why? Because we believe that the only Carmelis is the first 10 Tfachim of the sea. So if you want to draw water from the ocean, no problem. You can do whatever you want, as long as you don't go real deep to the bottom of the sea, the first 10 Tfachim, you're really all the time in the safe vicinity of Mokum Ptur. That's Rav Huna, right? You still have to have a symbolic piece of wood to show that other people shouldn't think I'm doing it from a Carmelist. People would ask questions, why is it different? You'll explain to them, this is not, I'm not really drawing from Carmelists. So if that wouldn't be in the sea, would be the forest, I wouldn't be able to do it. But that's it's okay. Rav Chisda has all different shot. Now, following the chart, Rav Chisda says, no. The sea is like the earth. And you start counting the 10 tefachim of Carmelis from the sea level, above, from the sea level, from the top of the sea water, yeah? Then you have 10 tefachim. This is the side of the boat, my friends. 10 tefachim is still what? Carmelis. And then you have Mokum Ptur. That's bad news, right? And here's the boat, which is what's inside the boat. Yuhu, Rashus HaYochid. So I'm not, now that's a machlokes what I told you, but this is what some people hold, and I'm following those people, the Rishonim. If I draw from Carmelis, the sea is Carmelis. The first 10 tefachim, Carmelis. And as I'm drawing up the water, up and up, I'm going from Carmelis, even though I'm going via Mokum Tur without stopping and then into the Rishus HaYochid, some Rishonim say it's also because I'm going from Carmelis and I'm not stopping in the Mokum Tur. I'm continuing up and up. Even if I would stop, there's no Mokum Anocho. It's just mid-air. It's not called stopping. And therefore, if you go through the Carmelis all the way up to Shus HaYochid, from Carmelis to Shus HaYochid, bad news. What are you supposed to do? Build a contraption, not on Shabbos. Prepare your trip before, and make sure you have like a chute, you have like a pipe that the water goes through. The bucket goes up and down. What's the mile of the pipe? It's a 10 by 4. And 10 by 4, is Shus HaYochid. We'll see later, it goes up and down. Basically, the 10 by 4 will go all the way down to the ocean. Right, so then straight from Carmelis to the Roshus Yochid is not a problem. Why? Because everything that I put through the tzino, through that chute, is all Roshus Yochid. Everything above it and below it is Roshus Yochid. As we'll see later. Yes. It's a big controversy. What I'm saying, everything I'm saying, that's issue of like 5 Rishonim. I prepared a lot for this year, and I'm jumping a little bit between different Rishonim just to make a workable shot. You'll see. Trust me on that one, In other words, we say good achis, it's been a maskana, so everything is Shus HaYochid. Mela, life is good. Yochid up, Yochid down. It's all Yochid. Finish the story. Mela, there's no problem. That's according to Rav Chisda. And also Rabbi Baravuna. Yeah. You could? Question. Yes.
Are you talking about like having 4 walls or just it goes through a whole?
No. You have the proper 4 walls, my friend. 4 walls, and each one 10 tefachim, and the top and the space is 4.
What if you're more than 10 to fuck them away?
More than 10, even better. The more the better. At least
nothing has to touch the bottom of the ocean.
Lefi, what I'm saying, it doesn't, right? Because we say good achis. You're right. Yes. 10 tefachim. Okay, we saw it. We saw it before. Yeah. I think so. I'm not even sure it has to be 10. Mukaf mechitzas ktanois. So huge. It has to have. I'm not sure even 10 because we say Gudachis even less than 10. I'm not 100% sure actually. You know what? I want to be humble here. I'm not sure if it's 10 or less. But you have to have mechitz. Usually mechitzas are 10. We'll see later. Sometimes mechitzas less than 10. You say you continue imaginally, but that's more or less a machlokas. Now let's continue to the following question. Omar Rav Nachman, third wide line. Again, everything I'm telling you is not agreed with all Rishonim, but we're choosing our way here. We're sailing through. Omar Rav Nachman Rabba Baravua, right? He's asking a question to Rabba Baravua about Ravuna. Ula Ravuna, according to Ravuna, the Omar, what does Ravuna say? Ravuna is the easier one, the lenient one. What did he say? Moitzi himena ziz kolshu. Just take out a symbolic piece of wood, something, a protrusion, a spitzele, umemale, no problem. In other words, basically, as long as I feel from the top of the ocean, right? Let's say, yeah, from the top part of the ocean, not the bottom, right? It's okay. Why? Because anywhere above 10 tfachim of the bottom of the sea, the top part of the sea, of the water themselves, is okay. If it's above 10, no problem. But the problem is that Lamaisa, that wasn't the way he phrased it, because Ravuna said, Memale, it sounds like you can always do it. There's no problem. You can always fill in water, fill at home. It's not always true. Frag the Gemara. Imagine yourself you're in a river, and the boat is not so big, and the water is not so deep. Frag the Gemara. Zimnin deleka asoro. Sometimes you don't have 10 tfachim of water. You go through very shallow water. It's not so likely. Nice. You have very shallow water. As much as you want to be mekel ravuna, yeah, if I have less than 10 water, inadvertently I'm filling the bucket with water that is less than 10, meaning it's still karmelis. So I'm taking from karmelis to shusayachid. Omerleng, this is the thing your face you're making. Omerleng, gamrinan. We have a gamrinan. We have a knowledge from our rabbonim. The ein sfina maleches bepochas masoro. Sfina can never sail in such shallow water less than 10. You may ask what's the havamina, Rabbi Isai, and Rashi's meramis to the havamina. This is the time to teach you some Hebrew. Sorry, maybe you know it already. Sfina in Hebrew is a big boat. Yes. Yeah, if you want to go on this little boat, the little one, the gingy, the whatever, the canoe, it's not called a sfina. Sfina is big. Sira is the smaller one, or beitzit, or Rashi says here another word from the Gemara. Doesn't matter. Another word, areva. Oh, the havamina was we're talking about a small boat, a really small one, on the river, kiddy cutesy. So maybe it's less than 10. He says no, we're talking about sfina. A big boat can't sail with such small, right? Enough, frag the Gemara, but still there's the question. The way I'll explain the question now is according to Tosfos. Frag the Gemara, v'amursha isla. Explains Tosfos. Mursha is a protrusion. We saw that, by the way, before. Says Tosfos is Gilsa, dilma mursha isla. Mursha means a protrusion. Let's say there's a bump in the bottom of the sea, a big bump, yeah? And the boat is right next to that bumpy area. So basically, in the seabed, again, don't imagine yourself a boat in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's in a river or next to the shore, right? And it's not that shallow. It's more than 10 tfachim, but it's shallowish. 15, 20 tfachim. But you have a very big stone there. So now, if you fill in the water in the bucket, and it happens to be above that stone, from the stone till the top of the sea, you have less than 10 tfachim. So maybe you are drawing water from there. And then you're drawing water from a distance which is from the ground and could be 4x4, the stone. Yeah, that area in the sea is all karmelis till the top because you only have 10 tfachim available of water or less. Amar Safra, that's not going to happen. Gishushi azli kamo. Gashashim in modern Hebrew also means people who search ahead of the group, which means Gishushi, there are people who are in the boat and they have sticks, and with those sticks they feel the water where the boat is about to go, because the boat doesn't want to be near those places. It's dangerous. So normal boats would be careful enough, the staff, the crew, are careful not to get into those, dangerous places. And it's very unlikely that a sfina would be so close to such a bump. Because the gishushi, the crew members that are in the top, they stand by the deck with those sticks sticking into the sea, and they feel what's about to come, and they navigate the boat the right way. So therefore, it's very unlikely. So it's not wrong of Ravuna to say that, generally speaking, a normal boat in normal deep water with normal crew, Mackenzie and his staff, we know that what? Clearly, the boat is zicher above 10, and therefore, once I draw water from the top of the ocean, no problem. Why? Because he believes it's all makom ptur, from makom ptur to shutayachid is allowed, l'chatchila. It's all above 10 from the seabed. Let's go to the other side, the other party. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Now Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak is asking. Rav Chia bar Abin. He's asking the question from Rav Chia bar Abin. What's his question? Now we're talking about the other side, the opponents. Rav Chisda or Rabba Rav Huna. The Amri. Oise mokem arbo memale. According to them, by the way, I think you guys are right. I don't think you need 10 tefachim. According to them, that you make a 4x4 frame with a bit of mechitzos, right? And you fill it in, right? Why do you have to do that? Because they believe that Carmelis goes, the entire ocean is Carmelis, plus 10 tefachim, tefachim. The entire ocean is Carmelis. I don't care if it's a tiny river or Pacific Ocean. 10 tefachim above the ocean is Carmelis. You're going through Carmelis. So what's the solution? Okay, create a Rishus Hayochid that will go through and through, and make sure all your movements are in that safe area, safe zone of Rishus Hayochid. If you don't have that shoot, you have a problem. You're not going to have water on Shabbos. I don't know what you'll do, right? Okay, ask Mackenzie, but you're not allowed to ask him. Whatever. Yeah, good question. Okay, so you have that shoot, you have that pipe. Frag the Gemara, fragt nach of Nachman, shoifchin didei hechi shadi lehu. The dirty water, Shefkin says Rashi is not even, we're not talking about sewage. Let's say the dirty water of the dirty dishes. They wash the dishes even back then. And what happens? You have dirty water. Where do you throw it? You want to throw it on Shabbos out of the boat. How can you throw it from Rishus Hayochid, boom, into the Carmelis? The Chitema, well, what's the problem? The Shadilu, Ba'isamakoim, you can throw them through the same place. The same place you draw water from, you can now draw what? You can now throw the other way, mamish the other direction, throw the dirty water, the sewage or semi-sewage water, back from the same place into the ocean. Ma'isile, that's disgusting. That's gross, yeah, as the kids say. Ma'isile, in other words, you can't use the same chute for both water. If it's a river, it's drinking water, by the way, yeah? And if it's the sea, it's washing. I don't want to use the same place for dirt and clean together, right? So what do? I could have had other solutions, which I'm going to keep for myself now. Basically, the Torah wants to be mechadish now. The shadi lehu adafna desfina, big time. Oh, this is a big headache, but I'll try and keep it clear. Basically, you have here dirty water. You want to throw it out of the boat. To throw straight from Rishus Hayochid into the Carmelis, chas v'shalom. The Rabbanon is also from the top to the Carmelis, not allowed, right? And I don't have the chute. The chute is clean. What do? I'm going to use my pshat, which is based on one pshat of Tosfos further on. It's controversial, but what I'm saying is based on Tosfos. I'm going to throw it here. Look, this is Carmelis, right? This is Mokum 2. It's above 10. Even the Machmir Shitas, this is 10 tefachim above sea level. This is 10 tefachim above sea level. This is the sea. This is the boat. 10 tefachim is Carmelis. This is Mokum 2. I'm going to spill the water, spritz and splash the water on here, and then the water is going to trickle down to the Carmelis. Meaning, I'm throwing to Mokum Tur. I'm allowed to do that. I'm good. I'm a good kid. I'm throwing to Mokum Tur. Although it's not Munach in Mokum Tur, because we saw in Daf A that it's not called Munach if it trickles down straight away. However, yeah, I'm throwing, splashing it to Mokum Tur, and then right away it's going to trickle down to the Carmelis and down into the sea. And that is okay. Why? Because although it's not Hanocha, I did not throw it directly, I threw it indirectly. It's called Koichoi. It's Groma. In other words, I threw it here, and then boom, it went there. It's a boom, boom. It's like a chain reaction for a second. It's down here, and then down to the Carmelis. You have to get more information. Thank you. So what? It's still bad, right? You're throwing and knowing very well that straight away when you finish splashing the dirty water here, it's going to trickle run down. So it's still your power. It's kocho. And says the Gemara, koche bekamadis loy gozru. Opa. Koichoi b'chol almost b'chol Torah. When you do something indirectly in Ezekiel, for sure. If let's say, I shoot an arrow here, and the arrow, even straight away, boomerangs to a different place, I'm not chayav maker of Beis Din. Same thing here. Since I'm not directly doing it, but I'm doing it in a boom, boom way, hitting the Mokum Tur, and then trickles down, it's indirect. It's not 100% direct. Usually, it's also. However, since Carmelis is dera bonon, Rabbanan were not gozer in Karmelis lo gozru. Rabbanan are the ones who invented one sunny day the concept of Karmelis. Before that, it was what? Makom Ptur. It was allowed. When Rabbanan forbade Karmelis, at the same time they said, if you throw into Karmelis in an indirect way, you throw out Ptur. Even though it's going to happen right, there was no Hanoch in the Makom Ptur, otherwise it's mutter. And in such a case, Karmelis is okay to be thrown to.
Where were you throwing?
I'm listening to you.
From inside the boat into where?
From the inside into the outside. Like that. The sailor goes, yeah, here.
He's throwing it onto another part of the boat from
No, onto the outside of the boat. Here's the inside of the boat.
Okay.
This is the inside of the boat. Mr. Sailor, Reuben the sailor, he throws it like that, boom. He sticks out his hand and throws it into the outer wall of the boat.
Right, so he's throwing
A
it
top
into
ten.
the boat to the
On top of the
outside
tent,
boat.
not here,
And then
not in
it's
the
gonna- And you're
Carmelis.
saying it's going to
Oh.
float down the outside of the boat.
It will trickle into the sea,
Understood. Okay.
which means it's an indirect throwing into Carmelis. And indirect into Carmelis from Yochid is allowed. Because Chacham are not gozer. If this was Rishus Yochid, Rishus Harabim, that would be a problem. Because Kocho for Rishus Harabim is better. That's Doraisa. But because Kocho is not as severe, Rabbanan were not gozer on that. When they decided to be gozer Carmelis in general. You okay, Kiva? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Now, how do you know that when it comes to the area in a boat between Rishus Yochid to the Carmelis in an indirect way, how do you know that that's allowed? Give me a proof. These are Amoraim talking. Do you have a proof from a Tana? The Tanya, it says, look at that. Sfina ain't metaltin lo b'toch halayam v'lo b'nei b'toch. So first of all, good. Everyone knows that, right? You can't carry directly from the Sfina to the sea straight. That's for sure. Rabbi Yehuda, listen to Rabbi Yehuda says. Rabbi Yehuda says as follows: Amuka asoro. Let's say the boat is itself inside. The size of the boat is at least 10 tefachim. So it's Rishus Yochid. Okay. Ve'en gvoya asora, meaning the distance between the outside wall and the water is less than 9. It's a short boat. Yeah. Every boat in the world has a few meters inside the sea. So the inside the sea, you have 10 tefachim. It's Rishus Yochid. Outside, if you look from the outside, you see less than 10 tefachim distance between the boat and the sea. Okay? So you have less than 10 tefachim. So then the kulam, this is what? Now the kulam, I don't mean kulam of Chizdan, but I mean, this is clearly less than 10 tefachim, right? We have to remember that. Metaltalin misoich halayam, you're allowed to carry from the boat into the sea. Now, this is a big problem. There's no Malkum Ptur here, Rabbi Sai, right? If we say that, let's follow now the opinion that says, not like Ravuna, the Machmir opinion of Chizda, what do they say? The entire 10 tefachim from the sea level is all Carmelis. So this entire boat from the outside is immersed inside Carmelis. There's no mercy here of Mr. Mokum Ptur. Yeah, the whole boat is less than 10. Look, it's all less than 10 from the sea to the boat, from the river to the sea. From the sea to less than the boat, to the top of the boat is less than 10, right? Therefore, it's all Carmelis. There's no more Ptur in the middle. Bad news. And now, what are you allowed to do? You're allowed to carry from the boat into the sea. What? Interesting. But not from the sea into the boat. To get from the sea to the boat, you're not allowed. Now, soon I'll explain why I was so excited about the being in the Carmelis. I promise I'll tell you. What's Rabbi Yehuda on about? Why aren't you allowed to pull, to carry, to draw from the sea to the boat? Why not? Clearly, you're going from Carmelis. We're obviously clearly now in Rav Chizda land. Everything above sea level within 10 tefachim is Carmelis. Okay. From Carmelis to Rishus Yochid, you're not allowed to carry Avada not, and you don't have that shoot. You don't have that special contraption. You don't. Why not? Because you don't. You didn't bring it from home. Mitoich halayam nami kametatel Rishus Yochid leCarmelis, right? Excuse me. From Rishus Yochid to Carmelis, how can you throw from Yochid straight to the sea? Same thing, right? Yeah, the distance there is less than 10 tefachim. So you and your fancy boat are inside Carmelis, right? How can you throw from 9 tefachim into Carmelis? What's going on? And says the Gemara, aha, elalav achuda. The shmam and koch b'karmelis lo gozu. What's chuda? Chuda is like this. The chayra, there's no solution. And I'm combining a lot of Rishonim here. If I throw from the boat into here, I'm throwing straight to Carmelis, right? No indirect, which indirect shmin direct. From the Rishus HaYochid, you're throwing into Carmelis. Huda, he means like this. You're throwing it, you know where? Onto the dirty water, you throw onto the rim of the boat. This is still Rishus HaYochid. You throw it in such a way from inside to the top here, which is still called Rishus HaYochid. Then it trickles down to the Carmelis first, and that's okay. Why? Because Koychoy b'Carmelis is okay. That's why the Gemara changed the Lashon and wrote Chuda. In other words, you throw it from here, all the dirty water, boats are not so thin. You have like the thickness, the lip, the rim of the boat. You throw it here in a good angle that will trickle from the top of Yochid into the Carmelis, and that's called indirect throwing, and that's okay. One thing we'll learn for sure through and through: if I throw either through Malkum Rishus HaYochid or Malkum 2, and then it trickles to the Carmelis, then it's okay. We got our proof. It's a bit different. It's the same. I combine a lot of stuff here, but I'm Baruch Hashem. What? Yes, chud. Why only chud? Because here you can't have throwing on the Malkum tour because it's a little boat. You only have less than 10. Less than 10, what are you going to do? Anywhere you throw here will be Carmelis. You're throwing onto the Carmelis directly. It's bad. Elamai, what are you going to do? You have to throw it here, the chud, and then it trickles down. Better. Now, Amavuna. What? No, Ravuna is the whole thing is with Ravuna. Why? We are in Ravuna all the time. It's very good with Ravuna. Why not? What? Avada not Mamlas Fina. Will you throw it onto the thing? How can you? You can't do indirect from the Yamlas Fina. You're gonna throw it. Rashi says you can't throw from the sea to the side of the boat. It's gonna fall down again. There's no indirect from the Yamlas Fina. There's no in reality in physics. There's no such thing. Think about it. Of course not. בטח שלא. מהים לספינה, אתה לא יכול לזרוק לא ישיר, אתה שואב או לא שואב, אין משהו באמצע. It's not a Malkum Tur over here. There is no Malkum Tur because it's a small, only 9 tefachim between the two things. It's all Carmelis. Right. Omavuna. Now new story. Now we're dafka talking about a small boat. This whole boat, look. This is a boat. It has 10 tefachim in Gansen. The whole boat is 7 and 3, which I think is 10 altogether. Inside of the boat, all 10. Very nice. Okay, it's a very sharp boat, like that. Okay, canoe. I don't know which boats are called like that. Yeah, it's a very, very sharp bottom. Okay, so it has 10 by 4. No, it doesn't have 10 by 4. Why? Because the bottom is very sharp. You don't have 4 by 4 over here. And if the mechitzas are not really circling, are not fencing 4 by 4, they're not surrounding an area 4 by 4, they're not called mechitzos. And therefore, this place is not called Rishus HaYochid, it's called the Carmelis. Why? Because the place has no mechitzos. It's not a Malkum Tur. It's not a Malkum Tur either, which is the whole discussion in Tosfos, but just take it for now. So you have mechitzos here. It's very sharp. It doesn't really host a place of 4 by 4 width, right? And we learned already before that mechitzas they don't circle 4 by 4, not mechitzas. So really, you're killing a place with no mechitzas. Therefore, what? Yeah. So now let's see what the Gemara has to say. Amavuna. Hani bitzosa de meishan. You have the beitza of meishan. Bitza is it's bitza, a marsh. You have those little boats that go in the marshes. Ein metaltil ben ela barabo. The Shulchan Aruch says Abba means Abba Amos, which means this boat is a Carmelis. Because why? It's not Malkum Tur. Why is Malkum Tur? Because it's bigger than Malkum Tur. It's more than 4 by 4 tefachim. On the other hand, the mechitzas are not nice. Basically, it's like a forest. If you're in a forest, my friend, in the middle of Shabbos, are you allowed to carry more than daladamis? No. Carmelis, you can't carry daladamis. Even the Shulchan Aruch were machmir on that. You can't carry daladamis in the Carmelis. You're in the forest, talk on Shabbos. If you don't have a proper eruv, you can't carry daladamis in the Carmelis. Therefore, since this boat is the Carmelis, therefore you're not allowed to carry in the boat. The whole Shabbos you have to sit down and you can walk around, but you can't carry anything within more than daladamis. Because it's not a Rishus HaYochid, because the walls are not surrounding an area. The area in the bottom is very sharp. So why did they make 7 and 3? arbo. Aval yesh bepochas mishlosh arbo leislan bo. Let me explain. We all know the concept of lavud. Why three tvachim? You see the three tvachim, you right away think of the L word, lavud. Let's say, look at that. Let's say that the boat is not so sharp, and within lavud, which is the bottom area, you have 4 tvachim wide. If you have a space of 4 tefachim for wall to wall within lavud, and it's keilu, the floor is 4 by 4. What does lavud do? Lavud sticks, connects things together. Rashi says keilu, the floor is up. If I have 4 by 4 over here, yeah, within 3 tefachim to the ground, in that distance, that shows that this 4 tefachim are the floor because it's lavud to the floor. So therefore, then it's okay, and everything is l'shus hayochid. That's what we're saying over here. Another good solution. Let's say it is really narrow. Let's say it is narrow, and within the lavud you don't have 4 by 4. You only have 3.5 by 3.5. So then it's really very sharp and no 4 by 4 anywhere within lavud. But if you filled it with kani ve'uvani, you filled it with sticks and arava, with arava branches. But kitzer, you filled it up, then it's also okay. You filled it up, even, I don't know if it will or won't stay there forever. That's another shaila. If you filled it up, then it's fine. Because lamaisa, you created a fake floor. And that floor is 4 by 4. Oh, so far, good. Now comes the question which will accompany us till the end of the shir. And from now on, really, I think the shir is much easier. Maskif Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman is now attacking what we said. Please don't use the word challenge. He's attacking. Why are you telling me that those walls that really, how big are the walls? 10. They're really 10, right? You don't like the fact that at the end of the bottom of the 10 doesn't finish nice, right? It doesn't meet the 4 by 4 area, right? You know what? I have a good idea. Take good achis. We all know good asik from sukkah. We all use good asik in sukkah, unless if you're a millionaire, you have a shaish going all the way up your peset. I don't know. Most of us have 10 tefachim for the sukkah. What about the rest? We have the imaginary halacha of the walls are imaginarily, as we learned in Daf Hey, they go up, right? If a wall of 10, halacha recognizes kilo, the wall goes all the way up to Shemaim. You know, good achis has a cousin, nice guy. His name is good achis. Good asik going up. Good achis, meaning this, mind you, is in the middle of a deep ocean. So now if I have those 10 tefachim here, right, just because they don't finish nicely here, so what? Let's measure from here, even 7 tefachim, and continue imaginary down here. Look at my finger. You have 7 tefachim. When it gets to 3, it's really nasty. It doesn't really have the 4 that I like. Who cares? Let's make an imaginary line from the 7 to the bottom of the sea, right? Good achis, and then you have mechitzas going all the way down, as I told you before, with a pipe. Have those 7 real life. They will imaginarily continue all the way down with good achis. Good means to continue down the existing walls, and then you have walls going all the way down the ocean, and inside my cute little boat, I can carry as much as I want. That's the Gemara's question. As simple as that. Now, the Tosfos, by the way, is a very different shot here. I'm only going now with Rashi at this point. Beforehand, I used Tosfos. I do a lot of flipping around here, but it's all understandable. And the Gemara will prove its point that we do believe in good achis. Look at that. Miloi Tanya, didn't we learn the Brisa, and you all guys learned it in Daf Hey Amud Aleph, I think, or Vav Amud Aleph, Hey Amud Aleph. Not skonable Shus Harabim. A person stuck a thin stick in Rosh Harabim. I don't have to draw this. On top of the stick, there is a basket. That basket has 4 by 4 area, but the walls of the basket that's standing not midair, that's standing on the stick, are less than 10. Yeah? Vizorak, you threw something v'nachal gabav, you threw something into the basket that's like middle of the air, but less than 10, and it's way above the ground. Chayav. You treat it as what? Reshus hayochid. How could it be Reshus hayochid? The walls of the basket are not 10. There are 4 or 5. I don't know how much. Yeah, and there's a stick holding it to the ground. I don't have 10 tefachim here. Well, I guess we believe in imagination, and halachic imagination. Al ma'amrina. That is to say, we do believe in gudachis mechitzta. So we believe the mechitzta is even less than 10, right? Even less than 10. We can continue them with halachic mind, halachic eyes, all the way down to the floor, and that's why there it's bad. It's considered as Reshus HaYochid. Achinami ne'em begud achis mechitzta. Here, let's use it for benefit. Let's say that the 7 or so walls of the little boat are 7 tefachim. Imagine to go all the way down to the bottom of the ocean where all the corals are, and then we have it going all the way down, and it's good. Clear. Maskifla, Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, no, Rav Yosef is attacking the attack. He's attacking back, counterattack. Velosh Lahu. Yeah, who's the one who said that business with the basket? Rav Yosef bar Yehuda. Velosh Lahu la'adom Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Don't you know what Rav Yehuda said on behalf of Rav? Umatu b'mishum Rav Chia. Some people tend to say that Rav Chia said it. Rav Chia was Rav's uncle before, yeah. The Tanya law, and they say the Chachomim poitrin. Thank you. You're bringing me an opinion of Be'esav Rabbi Yehuda, Heilu Getana, but he's the Das Yochid. I have a Masorah from Rabbi from Rav that really Chachamim poiter what? The guy who threw from the Reshus HaRabim onto that basket, which is mid-air and doesn't have 10 tefachim, yeah, they say you're a potter. Because why? What is it? Maybe Karmelis, it's Shaden Karmelis, it's not Reshus HaYochid. So you see Chachamim don't believe in good achis. Since when do we follow minorities? Das Yochid. Chachamim, the majority, they say you're potter because this traskal, this basket, is not Reshus HaYochid. And because there is no good achis. Here too with the boat, no good achis, finished. So if you're a little dingy, your little canoe, you can't carry inside because we don't view as if they're going all the way down. Amale Abaye. Abaye, now you should realize this is tricky. He's not completely arguing Rav Yosef. He's minimizing what Rav Yosef is saying. Soon you'll understand. Abai says, you know, Rav Yosef, what you said is true, but not always true. Again, what did Rav Yosef say? Rav Yosef is very clear. He says, listen, nice idea, good achis, sounds nice. And Rav Yosef holds of it, but Chachamim don't. Finished. And therefore, I just don't believe in that concept whatsoever. Not by boat, not by the basket, not by whatever, the Congress in America. No 10 tefachim going down to the sea, to the bottom ever. Okay. Says Abaye, let's look at the fine print over here, says Abaye. Don't you think that sometimes Chachamim do believe in good achis, and sometimes they don't? I'm spoon feeding you a little bit, so you'll prepare for the next step, yeah? Look at the following case. Here comes the third case. How many cases do we have so far? We had the case of the boat, that's like that, and we'll say, let's imagine it's going all the way down, yes or no? We had the case of the basket, which is maybe machlokas and chachamim, right? You have the basket. The basket, imagine yourself like a basket in the street held by a very thin pole. Now comes the third case. Let's judge for ourselves. Amud b'Reshus HaRabim, a pillar in Reshus HaRabim, gavoa asoro v'rochav daled. Sounds nice to me, right? That's your perfect Reshus HaRabim. It's 10 high, and the width is 4 by 4. The end be kol daled. The bottom of that thing, imagine yourself like a conically shaped thing. Most of it is 10 by 4, and towards the end it gets narrow. It doesn't have daled and daled in the bottom. The yesh b'kotzo shel gimel, meaning the bottom part between that pillar to the end of between the floor, and when the pillar gets 10 by 4, you have 10 by 4. But between the 10 by 4 of the pillar and the floor, there is a small area. But that area is more than 3 tefachim high, so there's no lovud. No lovud. You have 10 by 4, then you have stoppage between that and the floor, and there's no lovud between them. So you have 10 by 4, but they're not going all the way down. They're not going all the way down to the floor, to the Reshus HaYochid, to Reshus HaRabim. They're not touching the floor. There's a gap here. And the Zot Menachal Gabav, Chayev. You threw on top of that pillar, you're Chayev. Meaning, although usually Reshus HaYochid has to touch the floor. Reshus HaYochid has to be grounded on the floor. And it's not. Mechitza tluya eina mechitza meikardin. How come this is all of a sudden mechitza? Achanami good achis mechitza. Right? Al mamrina good achis mechitza. We see what? That over there, but the case with Tznat Raskal, we see that we believe in good achis. You're telling me Chachamim always argue? They don't always argue. Look, we see that in that case of the pillar that goes like this and then gets narrow, we say that we believe in good achis. We believe that it's as if the walls went all the way down to the floor. It's Reshus HaYochid. Achanami, let's compare that to the boat. Achanami good achis mechitzta. So let's say by the boat also good achis mechitzta. Why did you kill the idea of good achis mechitzta? No, look. In other words, don't compare it to the Traskal. Compare it to the case of, you may ask the question, what's the difference between the Traskal and the pillar? We're going to discuss that soon. Let's now only focus on the pillar. 10 by 4. Towards the end, there's a knowing distance of more than 3. Right? So you have the whole Shusayachid mid-air, 3 more than 3 from the floor. And we imaginarily do continue it all the way down. So we believe in Gudachis, and Rabbanon also believe, everyone believes in it there from some reason. Yalla. So let's say that the boat is the same. Here too in the boat, let's believe in Gudachis Mechitzta. Say that the boat that's narrow in the bottom continues all the way down. Zog the Gemara, the area is it the same? I promise I will explain Traskal soon. I promise. But first, let's get right. The area, is it the same? This is all the time Abai talking. Abai wants to show that sometimes we say Gudachis and sometimes we don't. Again, what did I just want to start? Let's not get lost here. Rav Yosef says, baloney, no such thing good. Stop the shtiyot. Not shtiyot. It's Rabbi Yosef Bar Yehuda. The mainstream opinion does believe in Gudachis. That's Rav Yosef. Abai says, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Now Abai will explain exactly why sometimes we do and sometimes we don't, and then we'll separate the cases. Listen to this, and this is the main point. Is it the same? Which means, we saw it before already, by the way. When you have good achis can't really beat reality. If you have kids, gdoim, goats, animals, cats and dogs, walking through, such as is the case in the Traskal, the Traskal has a basket mid-air, and then there's nothing for big distance of 5, 6, 7 tefachim. There's a thin pole. When I said thin, I meant thin. So you have all the animals and kids, everyone, and the strollers and beam boat. They walk below that area, so they're making fun of your imaginary mechitza. Imaginary doesn't work. Therefore, there we don't believe in gudachis. Mashaken the pillar. What about the pillar? The pillar over here. No, because it's shaped like that conically, and only at the end it's separate. It's not so comfortable for the kids to walk there. Imagine yourself like an upside down pyramid in the middle of the street. Not so gishmak to walk right next to it. It's not mamish free, and therefore over there, then I agree with you, Rabbi Yosef, that I think that we do say good achis even according to Rabbanon. There, everyone would agree to do God achis. What about the boat? Ooh, where should the boat be connected to? In the boat, you don't have any goats or sheep or animals or kids walking below, right? And therefore, by the boat, we should say good achis, and you will be able to carry inside the boat. The fish under the boat, they're making fun. You think you have imaginary walls going all the way down? We are the fish, we are the corals, all these weird animals in the bottom of the sea, and we swim through your walls. Dog the Gemara, no, because dogim loishme bekia says Rashi because you can't see them. Because fish are not visible to the outside eye, outside there, it's also hashkafically. There's no ein hora. Dogim are invisible hashkafically. Unless you have, unless you dive in a lot, and therefore it's considered as there's no b'kiyas dogim. And if my imaginary wall good achis is uninterrupted, then I will apply it. And that's where I disagree with this as a baito of Yosef. You wanted to kill the whole idea. I say no. I agree with you halfway that sometimes good achis it just doesn't work, and that is I agree with you. Where by the Traskal, true, there was only Rabbi Yosef Bar Yehuda because you have the kli in the middle of the air, 2 meters above, and then everyone's walking underneath, and you have walls. Come on, what kind of walls? In the middle of the street, everyone's going through. There's no good achis. Mashe'en ken when you have what? When you have a boat or a pillar like that, when there's nobody walking underneath, then we do believe in good achis. L'maiseh b'chlokes la'alocha. Shulchan Aruch says, like Rav Yosef, that we don't believe in good achis at all when it comes to a boat, and he says don't carry inside the boat if it's sharp like that. And the Bir Alocha start shouting, screaming that no, many people believe like Abaye that since underneath the fish are irrelevant, we do say good achis, and therefore you are allowed to carry in your boat, even though here it's stuck and it's not nice in the chitzas, but because the ki'ilu go down, they are considered surrounding the little boat, and you can carry inside. Ask your local Orthodox rabbi if you go in a small canoe on Shabbos. I recommend you don't. Atzlacha uvracha. That was Baruch Hashem b'zchus l'tzibur. We managed to go through different shitas as long as we have a workable pshat. Koyach, God will see you tomorrow. All of you Sunday, you're giving sure Sunday night. I'm not here and he's not here, so yeah, wherever you. Thank you very much. Atzlacha uvracha.